Kirk. A bi-monthly meeting is being held by two Parkersburg council members before City Council, and tonight's topic brought in nearly 200 people. The topic for the town hall surrounded homelessness. There were 10 panelists in attendance to answer questions anyone had. Some takeaways from the town hall noted that at least 205 people are on the streets in a 24-hour period. Low barrier shelters were also brought up, meaning meet people where they are, no matter their condition or circumstance. A nonprofit is trying to get up and running to house homeless people and their pets. There were no solidified solutions made tonight, but ideas were generated, and Councilman Zach Huffman stated this is only just the beginning.
Break down some of the assumptions that people have, like we think, oh, all homeless people are like this, or they don't want to do that, and they're not a glomp. You know, I mean, every single one is a unique human being with a unique and different story, and what helps one will not help another. And so what we're trying to do is really give some very practical solutions based on real people and their real needs.
The Salvation Army's warming shelter will be open tonight due to the colder temperatures.